Hi guys, so yeah, another pickups video, because although I normally leave a huge gap between pickups videos, I've got quite a lot of stuff since the last one in the last month or so, maybe 6 weeks. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up. What's it now, about mid-November? So it'll be up at some point in the next couple of weeks, I'd imagine. So we've got quite a mix of stuff. So I'll start off with the London gaming market, because I went up to the London gaming market the other week, which was kind of an impromptu trip, because I wanted to pick this up, and that is a Dreamcast twin stick controller, and that was off Allan McCluskey, some people know as Japanese Allan. And the reason I want this twin stick for the Dreamcast is because Xeno Crisis is coming on the Dreamcast, and I backed that with my Mega Drive copy on Kickstarter. So when that comes, I know it has twin stick support, so I desperately want to play it with the twin stick. Let me just get it out of the box. Oh. But yeah, the box is in pretty decent nick, but the stick is like fantastic nick. Really nice condition. Both sticks have got micro switches, you can hear, just gorgeous. So if you've played Xeno Crisis, or if you've seen my Mega Drive review of it, you know that it's going to play so well with this twin stick controller. So really chuffed with that. So yeah, I messaged Allan on Facebook saying, look, have you got one of these twin stick controllers? And he said yes, offered me an absolutely fantastic price for it. So I picked it up at the London market. So while I was at the London market, I saw a few people up there, which I won't go into, but I was after a copy of this game, and that is Virtual On, what's it called? Oratorio Tangram. But basically, this is one of the few games that supports the twin stick. So there are a few, but this is the game that was kind of designed for the twin stick. Sorry about the glare, but it's got a plastic wrapper on it. But yeah, this is like a mech fighting game, I suppose, or sort of mech arena fighting thing, I think. I haven't actually had the chance to play it yet, but yeah, just had to grab that because it was made for the twin sticks, and I'm really keen to give it a go. And that was from Paul Villa, and he had 17 quid on it, on the label, which I thought it's probably a lot more than I want to pay. Willing to pay about 12 quid. Because London market is generally quite expensive, but as soon as I picked it up, he kind of said a tenner, and I happily paid a tenner. So cheers, Paul, for that, if you're watching. This one I picked up off Facebook just before Blackpool, and this one kind of annoyed me a bit. So this is just one of those games that I don't have in the collection for some reason on the Saturn, and that's X-Men Children. Is that even focusing? Yeah, there you go. X-Men Children of the Atom, fighting game there, versus fighter. Love my Capcom 2D fighters on the Saturn, who doesn't? But yeah, didn't have this one, and it annoyed me because I got it on Facebook off some guy, 20 quid, which I was happy to pay, but he sent it in a jiffy, so the case is cracked, which isn't that big a deal because it's a CD case, I can replace it, but it stinks of fags. It's actually not as bad as it was when it arrived. When it arrived, it absolutely stank of cigarettes. It was disgusting. So I kind of moaned at the guy, and he gave me a few quid back. So I think I ended up paying 15 quid or something for that. But the reason it was so annoying is because I paid for that, and then went to Blackpool, and at Blackpool I saw that Allan had a minty one with spine for 20 quid. So in hindsight, I should have just waited and bought it there, but there you go, hey ho. This one is an upgrade. So this is a game that I absolutely loved as a kid. It's the PlayStation game that I played the most, and some of you already probably know. It's Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. Absolutely love this game, still play it. I know it gets a lot of hate, but it honestly, the amount of tens or hundreds of hours that I played this in my teens with my friends is just, you know, great memories, and I just absolutely love the game. So the reason it's an upgrade is because this is the black label version, because I have the platinum version, and I just wanted the black label one because it's the one I had back in the day. And it's funny, it's one of those ones, I'm sure we all do it, where you're intending to upgrade it or you're intending to buy it, and you just keep putting it on the back burner, and that's happened for years and years and years. And then finally Steve, Adisneakerfreak, was shifting a load of PlayStation games, so he did me that for a fantastic price. So cheers, Steve. Another one here, this is one that is also compatible with the Dreamcast Twin Stick, and I used to have this because it's a PAL game, and obviously I did have a full set of the PAL Dreamcast. So I thought I'll pick this one up again. I remember I played this a little bit when I had it, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, but now that it's got the twin stick support, I'm quite keen to give it another try, and that is Out Trigger on the PAL Dreamcast. Now that, there you go, that is kind of a similar game. It's like an arena sort of mech fighter thing, from what I remember, although looking at the pictures, yeah, looking at the pictures, they don't actually look like mechs. Maybe I'm thinking of another game. It says blah 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 blah. Yeah, it actually doesn't give much away as to what the genre is. But anyway, whatever it is, it supports the twin stick, and that was from our friend Sean, aka HoratioVanBasten. So I put a few Facebook posts up saying, has anyone got this for sale? I didn't want to pay silly money for it. People asking silly money and people asking silly money on eBay. But Sean did it me for a really good price. Absolute legend he is, HoratioVanBasten anyway. So cheers for that, mate. That will be having a thorough testing at some point in the next couple of weeks, those two games and the twin stick, because I haven't actually tried the twin stick out yet. Some random stuff. What we got? We got this headset, gaming headset from Numskull that they sent me, and that is NS05, and not had the chance to try them out yet, but they're really chunky headphones, and they're compatible with PS4, Switch, Xbox and PC. And yeah, they're just really super chunky. Sorry for the glare, but you can probably see in there. So yeah, give those a go, and I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check those out, from Numskull. They make some really cool stuff. Vector Patrol. It's a Vectrex game by the same guy who made Vector Pilot, which is absolutely fantastic and easily my favourite Vectrex game. And this one is a clone of Moon Patrol, the arcade game. And I never really had much experience with Moon Patrol, and I played this a little bit the other day. I've only had a very brief chance to have a go on it. It's so hard. I was playing it on easy and I just found it so bloody hard, so I need to really practice that. But yeah, in the old clamshell case, same as Vector Pilot, but really nicely made. So yeah, I need to get stuck in with that a bit more because I'm just getting hammered on that. I got two books from Bitmap Books, and the first one is Metal Slug, The Ultimate History. Now, depending on when this video goes up, you may or may not have seen a little review of that, so keep an eye out for that, or go and watch it if it's already up. But yeah, gorgeous book. I'll leave a link to their site in the description as well, where you can get their books. They make so many fantastic books. I've got quite a few of their books, but yeah, this is just stunningly made. Really thick book, loads of info in there. My battery's flashing, so I'm just going to switch the battery. Hi guys, sorry, didn't plan ahead and battery died there. So yeah, that was a Metal Slug book, and the other book from Bitmap Books is this Master System, a visual compendium, and it has that cool kind of lenticular front there. Really cool. But yeah, I won't go into the book because I'm intending to do a video on this in the next week or so to have a look at that. But yeah, their books are really fantastic. Definitely check them out. Then we got some big box stuff. So as some of you may have seen recently, I've been on a bit of a big box tip with Amiga and PC games. I've got 3 Amiga games here, and I'm kind of just trying to get together the games I had as a kid, or that I played a lot as a kid and meant a lot to me. So yeah, these 3 I've been after for ages, like looking through save searches and this, that and the other. So first one is Shadow of the Beast. Now, not the best game by anybody's standards, but really iconic game. Certainly for the visuals and the music, it just showed off what the Amiga could do fantastically. And yeah, it comes in sort of various different size boxes, but this is like the standard looking box. This is like the mini big box. In fact, all three of these games are like the mini big box ones. But I forget what I paid for that. It was eBay, kind of just, I've been watching eBay listings of this game and bidding on them for months and months and months, and finally found one for a kind of reasonable price in nice nick. But yeah, really nice condition. There's a little flaw kind of in the bottom corner there, if you can see, and there's some crap on there, which you can see, yeah, there, but it's just sticker residue. I can give it a go with Goo Gone this afternoon and that'll come off. This one is an absolute dog to find, and that is Paradroid 90. And I played this game to death when I was a kid, and it's funny because if you've ever played this game, you're a little robot guy, and you're on a ship, and you're pretty much defenseless. Like, I think you have a little weak attack, but you're basically screwed. All the other robots on the ship are like super powerful. So what you have to do is you kind of hack the more powerful robots, and then you get this little hacking mini game. And if you beat the hacking mini game, you then take control of that more powerful robot. So you then have souped up firepower, like a flamethrower or more powerful shot, and then you can go and take on the other like alien robots or whatever they are on the ship. The problem was I never knew how to actually do the hacking minigame, so I was kind of guessing. So occasionally I'd luck out and take over some really powerful robot and just start smashing it up, and loved it. But a lot of the time I just failed because I didn't know what I was doing. But now I have the manual, which has a little guide to the little hacking minigame in, I believe, so definitely keen to get that. But anyway, this game is balls hard to find on eBay, and I finally found one. I was watching it and it went well over 50 quid, which is not something I'd be willing to pay. But in the end I found this listing, and this guy had mistakenly listed this as Paranoid 90 rather than Paradroid. So it didn't get much interest, and it was like a $32.99 buy it now, and I'd been watching it for ages. But as soon as I saw that other one, it went well over 50 quid, I was like, right, you know, I'll snap this up. I'm not going to find one cheaper. So yeah, snap that up. Chuffed to have that in the collection. That was one that I played a lot as a kid. And yeah, the last one is RoboCop. Another one of these small little boxes. It's got a lot of shots and stills from the film on the back, and then a couple of little shots, but it says TV shots taken from the arcade version. But I don't know if that means these gameplay screenshots are taken from the arcade version, but they look like they are. Oh, but yeah, love the arcade game, and I really loved this conversion. Although it's really hard, I used to put the cheats on and just play through it, but I always loved it. Really cool, and it's got like the mini games where you're doing the crime face fit thing. You know, what do they call it? Photo fit. And you have to match up the faces, and then there's like a mini game where you have to shoot the guy holding the woman hostage and all this other jazz. And there's what's the other mini game? Like a little shooting gallery thing, like a training, you know, shooting thing. But yeah, love this game, just so cool. The music, everything, it's just so nostalgic, and it's awesome to have that on the shelf. And that one was a Facebook post that a guy put up of Amiga games, I think on Retro Realm, and they're super cheap. And Cinny Steve beat me to the post and got a lot of the good stuff, but thankfully RoboCop was still there, and the guy sold it to me for like a tenner, which I was more than happy to pay. Really chuffed with that. So nearly done. Just following on from Shadow of the Beast, the game, I also picked up Shadow of the Beast, the vinyl soundtrack. Now, like I said, Shadow of the Beast, not the most amazing game gameplay wise, but the soundtrack is fantastic. It's something that I listen to on Spotify here and there in the car, so I definitely wanted it, the record. Unfortunately, the front cover art is absolutely awful. It doesn't even say what the game is on the front. It's just a really badly drawn picture. I think they made a big mistake going with this artwork. A little bit better on the back. You see Shadow of the Beast, music by David Whittaker. But if you've played Shadow of the Beast, you know the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. And this, I think this was Zavi. I ordered this ages ago and it eventually came, but it's a nice red vinyl, really nice kind of translucent red colour. Yeah, lovely, chuffed with that. And we've got a couple of modern pickups, which is unusual for me. But first one is the Outer Worlds on PS4. Now, this game kind of jumped out at me and took me by surprise because I didn't really know much about it, but because it was developed by Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas, which is one of my all-time favourite games, and it was kind of billed as Fallout in space because obviously they don't own the license to the Fallout series. They made their own game in that kind of style, and I've now finished this and I'm going to take it to CEX this afternoon. I paid 38 quid on eBay for this and CEX will give me 38 quid. So I'm going to trade it in today and kind of break even. I don't know, the game's got a lot of flaws, I think. It's very dialogue heavy, you're talking to people a lot, and it got to the point where I was just sick of it and I was just skipping the dialogue to just get through it. So it takes place in this solar system and there's several planets kind of on the map, and I thought at first, oh, I'm going to be able to explore all these planets, but then when you hover over the planets and you see that, like, you know, a couple of them are gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn are in our solar system, so you're not going to be able to visit those because obviously they're uninhabitable, and then a couple of the other planets were like uninhabitable, and it turned out there's only like a small handful of planets I could actually visit, and you know, a couple of those had very few actual areas, and there's probably 2 planets that have a really big kind of open space that you can explore. But the problem is, every time you want to fly between a planet, you have to go back to your ship and you have to go to like the navigation computer and you have to say, I want to fly to this planet, and then you kind of transition to that planet. So it's so clunky that you end up sitting in these loading screens. So let's say you're on planet A and you want to travel to planet B, because the mission is saying you have to now go to planet B. So you have to, let's say you fast travel to your ship, that's one loading screen. Then you travel to the other planet, which is not really a loading screen, it just kind of shows you your ship moving. And then you have to fast travel like to the next one, transition to the, you know, onto the planet. So it's like a little animation for the moving of the ship, and then 2 loading screens just to go one place to the other. And then you'll do a little bit of the mission and it'll go, oh yeah, okay, now you've spoken to so-and-so, you've got to go back to the other planet. So you're going back. So it's like I've just had to go through 4 loading screens just to complete this little tiny bit of a mission. And there was a lot of that, and some of it was really unnecessary, like, you know, go here, go there, and a lot of back and forth, and it just was very, very clunky. I didn't like it, and there wasn't enough of the points where you're just exploring, which is obviously the magic of the Fallout games, is you're just exploring and you don't know what's going on, and you can just explore the wasteland kind of without any loading screens, you know, unless you're going in and out of buildings and what have you, but you can kind of explore unimpeded. And there wasn't really much of that in this the Outer Worlds. There, you know, I found myself really wanting to get through the bits of the missions I was doing and get back to those points whereas I was exploring, but they're few and far between. So yeah, and when I finished the game, it was kind of a real big surprise that it was already finished. So I wasn't that impressed with it. I really, honestly, I really wanted to love it. I went in totally expecting to absolutely love it, and I did enjoy it, but not enough to probably play it again. Whereas, you know, I thought, what have I played it? I've probably played it like 20-30 hours and completed it, whereas when I play the Fallout games, I'm playing like 150 hours, and then I will definitely play it again for that amount of time, you know. So yeah, it's not up there with Fallout, but it's a reasonably fun game, and I think they just kind of they missed the mark with a lot of things. Anyway, sorry I was interrupted there. Yeah, the other modern game, I had a, what do you call them, nectar points, and there was an offer where you could double up your Nectar points for Sainsbury's, so I doubled up and I got a £30 voucher, just because I don't really ever do anything with my Nectar points, you know. So I got this Zelda Link's Awakening for 20 quid, because they were selling it 50 quid and I had my £30 voucher, so happy to pay 20 quid for that. And this is one of my, well, the original Game Boy one is one of my all-time favourite games. It's definitely my favourite Game Boy game, so I'm quite keen to play this one. Looking at the gameplay and everything, I don't think it's going to trump the original for me, but one thing that really appeals is that you can equip more than just 2 items, because obviously on the Game Boy you just have buttons A and B and you can only equip, say, a shield and a sword, but with this you can equip several items, just making it a lot easier and you don't have to keep switching between items. So yeah, that's cool. I was chuffed to get that. And then just one more thing before I leave you is a copy of Xeno Crisis appeared in the post, and if you've seen my review of Xeno Crisis, basically, because I backed the Kickstarter, I messaged them saying, is there any chance you can kind of fast track my copy, because I want to do a video on it and this, that and the other, and obviously that takes time and you want to get it out there as soon as possible. So my copy arrived and it was just identical to this, and it had a note saying here's your press copy and what have you, and I just assumed that that was my Kickstarter copy that they'd kind of fast tracked. But yeah, this turned up in the post and this is the one that I ordered, so I've ended up with 2 of these. And I did message Mike from Bitmap Bureau and kind of say, look, another copy's just arrived, and he said, oh, you know, they must have just classed that first one a press and left me on the mailing list or whatever, but he said just keep it, so that's very nice for them. So that's awesome. If you haven't seen my review of Xeno Crisis, it is absolutely fantastic. Go and check it out. But yeah, I think that's it for pickups, guys. I hopefully haven't waffled on too long, but kind of want to get those pickups out of the way so I can tidy the game room up a bit and get organised. But I shall see you very soon. Thanks for watching.